this time, and I give you the mic.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know which presentation would go first. So I prepared one presentation with my background, and so as you can see here, I started as a zoo volunteer when I was 15 years old in 1985. And then, you know, so I talked to you about the Raqqa stuff. No. Okay. Right. Okay, so there in Raqqa village, so we started in situ nest protection program to protect all the sea turtles, turtle nests in situ. And basically what we did was that we employed all the poachers as nest protectors to patrol the beach and protect the turtle nest. And we started paying them a salary. So it was the first livelihood we generated, alternative livelihood, because their former livelihood was to sell sea turtle eggs. So instead of poaching turtle eggs, they started patrolling the beach and protecting sea turtles, and also they helped us to conduct research, to gather research data. And here this is the Lalit when he was working as a research officer. And we did tagging, measuring of sea turtles, measuring eggs and hatchlings, all these things. And so actually since 1993, we changed the life of people from poachers to conservationists, and now they run the project. So this is 26th year in operation of Turtle Conservation Project in Sri Lanka. And so we received many global awards and national awards. British Airways Tourism for Tomorrow, and we were selected, our beach was selected as one of the top 10 eco-friendly destinations. And World Travel and Tourism Council gave another award, and Virgin Holidays Responsible Tourism Award. And the government of Sri Lanka, they gave me this Green Employment Award for employing more than 100 people who used to destroy the nature before. And and even the International Sea Turtle Society gave us this Champions Award in 2010. And these are some of another things. Okay. Right. So here we go. So why we have to provide alternative livelihoods for those who involved in destructive practices? So why can't we put them in jail? Because it's something that I get when I work in Sri Lanka, because we have so-called environmental lawyers, and some of them, they say, you know, if it is banned or if it is prohibited to do, it is if it is illegal, simply you don't have to worry about them, you don't have to educate them, you don't have to provide any alternative, just ring 119 and the police will come and arrest them, right? Because they are legally protected. So that is one of the aspects that, you know, why we cannot call police or Navy or wildlife and put them in jail. We can't do it for a reason. And here you can see there are a lot of destructive practices, unsustainable practices going on, right? We have to provide alternatives because currently people are surviving or depending on natural resources. But unfortunately, the way they use the natural resource is not sustainable, right? Destructive. So dynamiting, right now I am implementing a new project in northern part of the island, addressing dynamite fishing in coral reef, right? So cutting of mangroves, mining corals, all these are problems. That's why we want to divert these people to another source of income. That's why we have to provide alternative livelihood. And actually this picture will explain another story. Now you can see here, I took this picture in one of our project sites called Halpitia, and this mother, she lost her husband, and now she has the responsibility to feed her children. And she doesn't have at least a fishing gear to catch the fish. So she's using her bare hands to catch the fish. And her, one of her sons showing me the daily catch, right? So are you in a position to call the police or wildlife department if she is collecting turtle eggs to feed her family and put her in jail, right? With our heart, we can't do that because we try to do something else rather than enforcing the law, right? So, and we have to realize that although we are very passionate about environment conservation, and we can't leave people out from the picture. They are also part of the entire scenario, right? So everything is integrated or connected. And so also we have to understand, if you are if you do activities to reduce the poverty, it will support our conservation actions. And also when you do conservation and management activities, it will support poverty alleviation within the communities. And also, if you provide community incentives or benefits, it will change people's attitudes positively towards conservation. And those positive attitudes will support our conservation activities, right? So if you have positive community contributions or support, it will generate much better results than the people with negative attitudes, right? And so these are some of the listed reasons why we have to diversify different livelihoods, because if you are providing a single alternative livelihood, it will create a competition among the resource users. You know, if you introduce something to produce, another person will start doing the same thing, another person. So there will be a competition, and at the result, the whole business will be collapsed. So you have to reduce the competition and increase the demand or market. So if you have more diverse livelihoods, it will increase the market or demand. And also optimum use of local resources as raw materials. Now later, I will show you how we can use the coconut tree to produce diverse products using different parts of the coconut tree, right? So then it will let you to use different local materials available in the village or your area, working area, to produce different services and products, right? And optimum use of time of the people. Now think, if you are working with the poachers, and if you employ them as turtle nest protectors, and it can be, you know, you need to recruit more people during the night because turtles come at night. But if you want to use them during the daytime, then you need to have more other activities during the daytime as well. And that is same for the tourism as well. If tourists are coming to see the turtles, and your tourism will be restricted to only night time. So it is good to have other options available for the daytime as well. And also optimum use of seasons, weather or day-night thing. That's what I explained now. When it comes to turtles, it will be restricted to night, so better to have things for the day. And reduce over-utilization of resources. Now, if everyone is doing the same thing, they need more of the same raw material, and it will threaten the resource or raw material. So if you have different diverse alternatives, people use different things, and it will reduce the overutilization of or overexploitation of the same resource. And opportunity to combine or link each other. Now say, if you are trying to sell garment or textile products, sometimes you have the same design or same product. But if you can link the textiles garment with batik, that sort of batik, it will have more demand. So you will have a combined effect if you diversify the different products, right? And increase the survival chance of the industry again, because if everyone produces the same, then more supply than the demand, it will, collapse. It will result in collapse in the industry. So if you diversify, the industry will survive, right? And increase more access to the market and partnership. Yeah. As an example, say that if you are running this as a business, the business people will not go to a remote area to buy only one product. It is not profitable when it compares to compared with the transportation cost, fuel cost, all these things. But if he can purchase diverse products that he can bring to the major town, or if he can export, he will go for that, because he can collect a lot of different items. So it will increase the market opportunities. And also it creates more opportunities to develop infrastructure. Now, when we provided alternative livelihood as turtle nest protectors, the government did not renovate the road, right? Because the government didn't want to renovate the road, facilitating the local people to go to the beach. But once we provided the tourism, yes, government also renovated the road because they want to promote the tourism in the country, right? So if you have more diverse livelihoods, it will promote the development of infrastructure in that location, and also reduce community dependency on destructive use of natural resources. So you know that, say if you have a coral reef area, and if you have tourism, if you do snorkeling there, and if it is overcrowded, it will damage the reef by stepping on the reefs or because of it. But if you can divert some of the tourists to other places, it will reduce the impact by dilating the, or because of it will reduce. So similar to that, if you are working in one village, people are using common resources, and if everyone is working on one, focusing on one resource, it will have more negative impact rather than use of different resources. And also, it will help us to achieve our conservation goal, right? Because we are trying to provide different alternative livelihoods for many people who are engaged in destructive practices. Okay, now lot of conservation managers are scratching their heads. Okay, what I can give them? They are asking, okay, I'm well prepared to give up my egg poaching, hunting, this thing. If you give us something else, right? That's what they say. It should be economically viable, and we should know how to do that, because it is against the law, at least in my country, to change the lifestyle of a person against his will. That means you can't ask from a fisherman to become a farmer against his will, because it's a totally two different things. You can't forcefully ask him to change his lifestyle, because if he doesn't know how to farm, he can't survive. Right? So, so one thing, under my project, we provided people, we created job opportunities as turtle nest protectors. So they patrol the beach 24/7 and 8-hour shift, and then we paid them a salary, right? Yeah. And also some of our local people work as research officers, the local people. Not only the university students, but also, and here it's someone, he's from Rakau village, and he was snorkeling and catching lobsters. That was his livelihood. And then he joined our organization. We recruited him as the liaison officer, and then we promoted him as the accountant, and also he was a research officer as well, right? Measuring a leather vector. And this is another kind of alternative livelihood we provided. The batik, it's a unique thing because you have to use your hand. It's all handmade, right? So, it's, yeah, the next one. And again, tailoring or sewing. So there we hire a trainer, and she trains the community members in, you know, how to make textiles, these products. And also after the training, we give them the sewing machines, because without the tools they can't make, right? Job half done. So we give them, and not only that, actually we allocate budgets to buy back their products, because you can easily do a mistake if you expect export quality products immediately after your first training. No, they can't, right? So you have to give them more than one chance. So what we do is that we, in our budget, we include not only the training, not only providing the materials or equipment to do the business, but also for the first time or second time, we will buy their products to encourage them. Then they know, okay, I produce something and it's gone, sold. So they keep doing it. And as long as they do it, they practice and they expertise whatever they are doing, right? So what we do with those things, either we can sell or we can distribute free of charge. As an example, when they make poor quality bags for the first time, you can't export, you can't sell. So what do you do with them? So actually what we do with those bags with not that good quality, we put our posters, leaflets, and then when we organize exhibitions and also competition, art competition among the school children, during the award ceremony, we give those bags with leaflet, poster, things like that, free of charge, right? But they are not good for export market, right? Here you can see the quality good products where we send to Marks and Spencer markets from Recover. Yeah, next one please. And here you can see how they are people work in Recover, and this is the product you can see.
What is that?
Sorry?
That's the wrapped up thing.
Yeah.
It's all wrapped up.
Yeah, you want to maybe see this. Yeah, to replace the bag, and we export this one, and then they put the structure with the wheels. Okay. Yeah. The next one. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this is the most recent project that I am implementing in a war-affected area after the war, which was going on for nearly 30 years. And this group, here you can see one beneficiary because of her, you know, she was hit by a shell. She lost one of her legs. Yeah. And crab culture. So aquaculture can be used as alternatives. So we provide these pens or cages to grow crabs. And also sea bass, again another aquaculture project. So as an alternative livelihood, we introduce sea bass culture. And also you can see that we call the push net, which is illegal because it will destroy the bottom or seagrass, everything. So we distributed these other legal nets. The poor people, they cannot purchase illegal nets because they are quite expensive, so they are using illegal nets, monofilament nets and other illegal nets. And ornamental fish breeding, right? So these are not endemic fish or marine fish. We introduce ornamental fish breeding. We provide training, we provide equipment, and we provide fish fry, and also we buy them back, right? Yeah. And see the diversity options available with fish breeding projects. When you introduce this fish breeding program, in a village, see how many different livelihoods will be generated. Some people will start breeding fish, right? They will have brood stocks and they will start breeding. And some other people will, by the small tiny fry, they will grow them up, right? So growing people or raising fish. And some people start making fish tanks, because once you see the fish in the village, all the kids want to have a fish tank, glass tank. So we trained some other people to make glass tanks with the silicone glass tank. And then some other people will make the stands, the roofing. Some people will start an aquarium and they will bring the accessories, air pumps, and the gravel, the filters, so many things, right? And the transporters, and some people produce fish food and sell. And retailers and wholesalers, suppliers of accessories, and also research and tourism. So we get a lot of volunteers who come and they involve with the fish breeding program. Actually, some volunteers, they pay my project to go there, and actually they support the community by cleaning the fish tank, they sort the fish, like that. And here you can see one example, how we can change a life. And through my project, we supported this a person called Shriyani female, and she is a widow and with 2 children, and also with her sick mother. And can you go back? And you can see here what we have done. At the beginning, when I started this tank, there was no no wall, right? So this is only the foundation for a house was there, only the foundation. So we use the foundation as fish tank, and we were buying the fish and paying her salary. So with the money she started, building these things, and no windows. So she was covering with the polythene, right? And the next one, and you can play this. Double click this one. This one. Yeah. It's a video. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
You just double click.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Okay, it's a video clip. Really? Okay. Right.
It's a market.
Okay. Right. Anyway, it shows you, she's catching the fish and, letting us pack them. So right now, actually about 2 weeks ago, I finished this one because no more she can allocate it for fish tank because she completed the house with the roof and everything. So actually my fish breeding program helped her to have 3 rooms for her kids and for her family. Yeah. So as I told you, I get volunteers. So they support sorting fish, packing fish, and transporting. Yeah. And okay, this is the coir mat production. So coir fibers are extracted from the coconut tree, and it has multiple uses. I will explain. So these are some of the products we give them, and also we use local people to produce our exhibits as well, exhibition materials. There you can see we use, because it is illegal to keep live turtles, so we can't take live turtles for our educational program. So we have to have something which is, which are not easily breakable. So we use sand to make them, and then we use cement, and then local people, the fishermen know how to repair their boats because they are fiberglass made, so they can convert these things into fiberglass, right? So, and now we have fiberglass dugongs, we have fiberglass 5 species of turtle, so they are lightweight, we can carry them wherever we go, and they are weather resistant, so we recruit local people to produce these items for us. And also this is a salt packaging program we implemented in Kalpiti area. So there we provided financial support to buy the large quantities of big packs of salt, and then they measure 1 kilo and they packet 1 kilo, small 1 kilo packets and retail. And this is a beekeeping project we implemented in Rakava. And also revolving fund, microfinancing programs. Because a lot of people, lack financial support, either to buy machinery or a tool set to initiate something, only a small investment, right? So what we do is that we create community organizations, CBOs, community-based organizations, and then we give them small grants. Now in Rakova, we established this Koyamat community-based organization with 42 women, and we gave like 100,000 rupees as the initial fund, and still they are circulating that fund, and it grew up and people are benefiting from that. And also as an alternative livelihood, you can introduce this farming, and if it is organic, then you can sell them with a good price. And again, we the Sampath and some other people, they work as nursery keepers. And actually, if you believe, the Sampath, he bought a lorry, right? A lorry by selling the plants. So it was a good in actually. Then he employed some other villagers also to support him. So it was a livelihood for a long time for him, providing plants for restoration programs throughout the island. And also it is same with the mangroves. Actually, we employed 40 plus people in 9 different locations in Kalpitia. And also during my other presentation also I told, we employed a person to train community members, the youth, school children in performing arts. So it was a livelihood for him. Yeah. And also we use local people as trainers, as educators, right? So we paid salaries for primary school teachers to teach the small small children in the villages. So also we hired some local people with a reasonable computer knowledge to give a training on computer. And also when we organize exhibitions, we use local people to explain. So we got training of trainers, TOT programs, training of trainers. So you have to do that in your organizations also. Yeah. And here you can see in that picture, there's a library we had in Rakova village, and those 2 girls were the librarians who issue the books and collect the books. Yeah. And also in Rakova village, we employed some women to prepare the herbal drink for the community. So we paid them, and they have to collect, they have to clean them, they have to prepare this herbal drink for the school children. And also we train our nest protectors as tourist guides, right? Because I told you, some time back that you can do 2 jobs at the same time. So same principle here. We were paying them, these people, salary for protecting turtle nests as nest protector. But they were always asking for more money. You have to increase the salary, you have to increase our salary. So what can you do? Right? So what we did was that using the same people, we trained them as tourist guides. Right? Okay, when you are on duty, you have to patrol the beach. Right? So few people are patrolling the beach, 8-hour shift. But some people, as an example, those who work during the daytime, they can come at night and work as tourist guides and earn more money. Right? Same principle. So if you can manage your time, if you can increase your working capacity, why not work 2 jobs and earn more money, right? Rather than stealing eggs, right? So, and also we sponsored and supported community members to convert their traditional rooms into a place where they can accommodate tourists. Right? This Desiaka is running a Mama Desi guest house through the booking.com, or here you can book. And even the BBC film crew stayed there. This Miss X France stayed there. So many people. Now it's fully occupied actually. So she trains our tourists, even my volunteers, how to cook local dishes, and it's the thing is that rather than having a 100-room hotel in an ecologically sensitive area, it is good to have like 50 houses with 1 room in each house. So that means you have 50 rooms in the village. And people, those people who are staying with the communities get the opportunity to feel the culture at grassroots level, right? And now I will explain you. See this one species, Cocos nucifera, or coconut plant. You know, everyone knows that. So let's see how many things you can do in a village. I know I wanted to see many people from Africa and Asia. Probably you should have this. And so this is called king coconut. This is yellow, orange color. So you can drink the water. Okay. And also you can use the fruit and break into 2 pieces. And then you can scrap the coconut and you can produce coconut milk. And then you can make the coconut oil. And then you can use them for multiple purposes, apply them to the head or cooking purposes, and you can make toddy, right? Local alcohol, and you can ferment the toddy into honey, jaggery. You can make the jaggery, and you can make alcohol. So many diverse products, vinegar, right? And then you can use the empty coconut shell to produce. These are cups. Teacups, teapots, and pots for plants, spoons, key tags, so many diverse, even the turtles, so many products. And see how these people produce them. All these are livelihoods for people. People collect the coconut, the husks, the envelope of the fruit, coconut husk, and then they use a stick and they chop. After submerging them in water sometime, and then they remove the fibers, and those are the fibers, and then they use this, like bicycle ring. There's a machine, and they attach fibers together, and they make different types of ropes, right? And you can find small ropes to very wide and strong ropes which can hold an elephant, right? And all these are from coconut tree. So I don't know, because some time back I met a woman from Panama. She wanted to start a community-based turtle project, and I met her in San Diego when we had the Sea Turtle Symposium, and she wanted to introduce alternative livelihoods. She said that we have thousands of coconut trees, but they don't use them for like this, like what we are using in, how we are using them in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Next one, please. Yeah. So these are brooms or brushes. Yeah. And that's coconut leaves are used as to provide the roof for houses. Yeah. Okay. This is a kind of business model. Say you have donor agencies funding you and your organization. The NGO means you, okay? So that means your organization. And so basically what you do is that you do field conservation activities, and also you do community work, right? So you need money to implement field conservation activities and also to support your communities. So you can implement or introduce various livelihood options or activities like community batik, fish breeding, sowing, coir mat, tourist guides, or farming, or whatever. So what we do is that when we identify an alternative livelihood and when we select the community, we establish a CBO, community-based organization. So you will have a community, like president, secretary, treasurer, committee members, and the group or the CBO. And you can register them. You can give a name, right? So then develop their capacity development. You can help them to develop. And then you network, because you can see the connections between these groups, right? See, this community batik group can be connected with the sewing, because you can see the bags with batik embedded there, right? It will increase the value, right? So people will make batik and it will go to the sewing group and they will finish it smart because they have professionally trained in sewing. You can link the thing. And even the farming, right? And then tourist guide groups. And during the night they will take the tourists to the beach to see the turtle. But during the daytime, what they can show for their clients, they will bring the tourists to show how batik is made, right? So tourists also will engage with batik production. And also they will work with the fish, sorting fish things, so they can charge, right? So you can have the network or consortium of all these NGOs for the entire village, right? It's the collection of all the CBOs. And then you have to link it with your organization, because you are the parent who look after all these things, and you can exchange your traditional knowledge or all these things, NGO and the network consensus, and then you can have a steering committee, because then you can discuss about the issues, benefit sharing mechanisms, all these things you can discuss, right? And see, marketable community collectives, and you have different CBOs and you have different products, right? So batik items, coir, fish, all this is, and tourism, all these things are there. So what you do with this, next one, right? Say when you have all these products, what you try to do is that market them. Actually, you can buy all community products and you can become a seller, right? You can use the community products to sustain your organization if you want. Otherwise, it is, if you just train them in different livelihoods, and if you don't know how they are going to sell their products, it won't sustain, right? If you don't provide them a good business model or marketing strategy, they will stop. So, and if there are other people who will collect the community products and sell them and make profit, that's fine. But if you want, if you have the capacity, if you have the staff, if you have the additional resources, why don't you do that? Because some other people can misuse the people and their product. They may not use the fair trade concept. You can use the fair trade concept, and the donor agencies will be very happy that your organization will be benefited through this business, and the local people have a strategic plan or business model where their final products will be sold, right? So we know. And then local and foreign market, either you can export them or you can sell them in locally, right? And then you make a profit. I mentioned that NGO profit. But would you like to be a profitable NGO or we are a non-profit? For reasons you want to be called as not-for-profit, otherwise you will be charged for different purposes, right? Sometimes you are not eligible for different grant opportunities, right? But actually, are we getting profit from this? So what do you do, right? So that's why I said you have to use the fair trade concept, and then it will be an income for the people because they can sell their products, and income for CBO maintenance, right? It is not only for the individuals who work within these CBOs, and actually some cut, I learned from Brad, some cut should go to the organization, CBOs, to maintain their CBOs, to buy a cupboard to keep their documents, right? To have a computer to enter the data, to have a micro finance scheme, you need to have a, budget. So use this income for that purpose. But you have that your profit or money. What do you do with that? Right? Okay, this is something you can do. Yeah. Okay. Now you got NGO profit from community product sales. What do you do with that? Right? You have two ways of using that money. NGOs field conservation projects. You need money to protect natural resources. So turtle nest protection program, research and surveys, mangrove conservation, beach plant restoration, whatever you can do, right? So if you want to fill in the funding proposal, matching funds, okay, we will give you this one, but you have to put money. Where that money comes from? Your matching funds from there, matching funds, right? And then NGOs, community development projects, and then you can do things which are not listed in your funding proposals using the money you generate. As you can see, we can have a library in the village, right? And we can have bus halls, bus stops in the village, community development activities. So we have done so many work without putting any money in proposals, right? So if you spend all your profit for these things, can you be called a profitable organization? No, you are not for profit.
Yes, you are.
Oh? Not for profit organization, because you spend all the money for your work. So if you are keeping your profit in the account or things like that, then you are profit making. But this is in my country, we can say whatever we get, we
Just
spend.
because you're spending it doesn't mean you're not making a profit. You are making a profit.
Okay.
You are spending it for really good things because you are an ethical person.
Yeah.
But I might not be.
Yeah.
I might be running a taxi company.
Yeah, I don't know how it is in Sri Lanka, but in the United States, nonprofit does not mean literally no profit.
Okay.
It is simply an IRS designation that provides certain opportunities and so on. It's not producing a product.
Oh,
What you're doing is you're producing a service or a thing like that. So there is sometimes a little bit of a mistake about that a nonprofit can't make profit. That's not true.
No.
You're allowed to, it's the types of activities that you're doing provide you with that designation in the IRS, which then allows you to receive donations and tax deductions and all those things. You can make as much profit as you can.
Okay. Yeah, next one. Okay. So that's what I want to say. So okay. No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say about different types of alternatives. So definitely there are so many other different types of alternative activities exist with other organizations, other countries. So we are here to exchange. So actually, I want to learn what else I can introduce from other people. We are also still struggling because we can't, do the same thing everywhere. We want to come up with new solutions, and I welcome your ideas. And if you have other alternative livelihoods that you are implementing and providing, so please enlighten us about those things. Okay.
Thank you.